Um, we we talked about for the last couple weeks. We introduced the first conceptual data models. Talked about object-oriented data models. We talked about UML as a standard of being able to discuss the structure of data. We talked about being able to map that to some concrete representation of that using a relational schema, since it's still one of the more pervasive and widely used ways of representing data and storing data for long term. We talked about we introduced the SQL language to be able to create the schema, to be able to retrieve data from that schema. We talked about also how to map between these two different worlds, right? From the conceptual to the schema world, back and forth between UML diagrams and relational databases. So today we'll continue a little bit more on that, on a little more SQL. We'll finish up select statements. Maybe revisit again group by and see what, some of the limitations that group by has and how we can solve that using the having clause. We'll talk about also views as a means of implementing the three-level architecture of databases, where you provide a high-level view, the redundancy of overloading of the term, for folks who don't really care about much about the structure of the data. They care about the day-to-day use and retrieval of the data. They want to have a very convenient way of accessing the data without all the idiosyncrasies of having to join from one table to another table. So we can provide for them a virtual view into into our schema, so that they don't have to bother with things being normalized or redundancy or any of that. So we can provide a more convenient use of the data using views. We'll then see how what the limitations of the SQL language and how we can improve on that by having a full-blown programming interface, right, where we can create procedures that we can execute and programmatically insert, programmatically update, run these within a database, and see how we can trigger them or invoke them depending on different events that occur in the database. So we'll also talk about the project today, and how it's split up into small little milestones, right? Of which the first one, I believe, is due today. P1, I think it's due today, where you just want to kind of make sure you have a working environment, that you have something running, and you can start thinking about what is it that you're going to start building. We'll introduce the second one, P2. We'll go over the generic requirements for the project, and then there'll be a quiz at the end of the lecture. Okay. All right.